Controlling the world energy supply has always been viewed as a lever for global dominance. Directly following World War II, U.S. planners understood their newfound role as the global hegemon and sought to shape the world into their political and economic liking. The Council on Foreign Relations, which was one of several policy discussion groups in the corporate-sponsored policy planning network, sought to establish what they called the Grand Area. The Grand Area. It encompassed the entire Western Hemisphere, Western Europe, Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. Also China and Japan, but that didn't pan out too well. As I said, one of the main goals was to control the energy supply. Not because we needed it, but because it gave us veto power over the rest of the world. The thinking there was that you can control a country's actions by controlling their access to the energy supplies that they need. Most of the oil that the U.S. uses comes from the Atlantic Basin. But most of the world's energy reserves comes from the Arabian Peninsula. This is why we have Dwight D. Eisenhower calling the Middle East, quote, the most strategically important area in the world, as well as State Department officials oogling over the Middle East, calling it a most stupendous source of strategic power, one of the greatest material prizes in world history, probably the richest economic prize in the world in the field of foreign investment. This is part of the reason why we need military bases in the Philippines, or why we need Israel to be a vassal state for U.S. power. It is to form a military system guarding the energy reserves in the Middle East. This is yet another example of imperialist capitalism privatizing natural resources, both domestic and abroad, in order to deprive populations, countries, their needs, so that they can be subordinated to U.S. ruling class power.